Welcome to lecture 2 of the Total Quality Management course. In this lecture we will be talking about the disadvantages of the traditional approach as well as the advantages of the quality management approach and the tangible and intangible benefits of the total quality management approach. First, we will talk about the disadvantages of the old or the traditional approach, which meant that a new approach will be needed. The first disadvantage of the traditional approach to management is lack of leadership. As you may recall, we stated that leadership is not management. Management is concerned with planning, budgeting, organizing, and controlling, while leadership is concerned with producing change and movement by vision building, motivating, and communicating. Management serves us well in static situations. However, more dynamic situations require leadership. Traditional organizations have tended to emphasize control and organization, which means management, over vision and motivation, which means leadership. This results in static organizations good at doing what they have always done, but poor at responding to changing environmental and developing situations. The second disadvantage of the traditional approach to management is short-term focus. In the last 60 years, we have been victims to the statement that says everything has to have a payback in the next quarter or the next year, or it cannot be justified. Most organizations are unable to take a long-term view. Companies are expected to declare a profit for the year, half year, or even quarter. An investment which pays off dramatically in 3 years will be overlooked in favor of one which delivers much more modest results but within the current financial year. This is, of course, a disadvantage of the traditional approach because it focuses on short-term benefits rather than long-term benefits. The third disadvantage of the traditional approach is the lack of customer focus. There is here a very important differentiation between the traditional product out concept and the market in concept. Notice the true and false statements here. The traditional product out concept, here the company works to a set of standards, and a good product is one which conforms to the company standards. On the contrary, the market in concept is where the focus is on satisfying the customers as long as the standards are aligned with the customer's requirement. A product out mentality, which is the traditional one, will lead to adherence to standards despite unhappy customers. It means our standards, so it meets our standards, so it must be okay. This neglects the fact that there is unexpected change to customer expectations. So, if you were asked what is the disadvantage of the lack of customer focus, you will state that it denies or it neglects the unexpected change to customer expectations. The fourth disadvantage of the traditional approach is the cost-quality trade-off. It has been It has long been assumed in traditional organizations that better quality costs more money, but this myth has been contrasted by another view in the quality management approach that quality saves money. Lack of system thinking. The traditional approach lacks a system thinking view which was developed by Deming. Deming developed a simple but effective view of an organization as a system. He stated that there is an interdependence of all the elements of a manufacturing organization. He also stated that the success of the system relies upon the effective integration of its parts. The last disadvantage of the traditional approach is human resource mentality. Traditional attitudes have led to a serious underestimation, notice underestimation, of the potential and contribution of employees across the organization. The work of Taylor and others reduced them to laborers completing simple, repetitive tasks as quickly as possible. This, of course, diminished respect until most employees of an organization were expected to use their hands but not their brains. A significant number of Western companies recognized this issue and took action to deal with it. We can here state that as long as we regard the vast majority of our people as resources, we will struggle to compete. After discussing the different disadvantages of the traditional approach, we'll now be talking about the benefits of the quality or the advantages of the quality management approach. Here we distinguish between two types of benefits or advantages. We have the tangible benefits and the intangible benefits. Generally speaking, and we will be shortly talking in details about each of them, but generally speaking, the tangible benefits are reducing costs, and here we will be talking specifically about cost quality systems, their benefits and problems associated with using them, and we will be talking about another tangible benefit of the quality management approach, which is reducing waste, and here we will be talking about 7 types of waste, and this is a VIB question. We will be asking you in the mid or final exam about listing or explaining the 7 types of wastes. Then we will be talking about the intangible benefits, which are customer satisfaction and motivation, and environmental impact. First, the benefits of or the tangible benefit, the first tangible benefit of the quality management approach is reducing costs. Here, in general, we can say that this is before talking about what you can see now on the screen, before talking about the benefits of cost of quality systems. I would like to remind you that in general, we can say that tangible benefits of quality improvement is the reduction of cost associated with non-quality. So, The tangible benefit is reducing the cost, and this cost is associated normally with non-quality. We also stated that traditional accounting approaches are designed to track the inflow and outflow of money in the organization. There was little emphasis on whether the money in the department is spent effectively. We also stated that in general, the lack of clarity of the cost of poor quality in organization led to a lack of focus on improvement for many years. It was only in the 50s, as you may recall, that organization had a financial tool to assess the cost associated with the quality failures, thus focusing on the most important areas for improvement. Now we can start talking about the benefits of quality or the benefits of cost of quality systems. We have three main benefits. This is a VIP area. We might ask you explain or list the advantages and the disadvantages of cost quality system. The benefits are: first, by translating quality issues into financial measures, it facilitates senior management commitment to improvement activities, and if it was sufficiently detailed, it will suggest priority areas for improvement. Number two, cost of quality systems provide a clear indication of the scale of the opportunity presented by current poor quality performance, and it can help us as a guide to the level of resources which can be committed. The third benefit or advantage of the cost of a quality system or systems is that they provide an effective measure of improvement if recalculated after the improvement has been made. However, there are certain problems associated with the use of quality or the use of the cost of quality systems. Number one, the costs are not likely to be accurate to the last penny. This means that, or this may include the time spent in reworking an item or meeting with unhappy customers. Number two, cost of quality systems require trust to be effective. This means that if departments or individuals are criticized for high quality costs, they may subsequently underreport these costs. Number three, to be effective, the outcomes of cost analysis are seen to be beneficial. In many cases, part of the identified cost opportunity will be the cost of employing people to be activate or to do activities associated with failure. Number four, when recalculating, you need to make sure that the comparison is fair and consistent between your costs and between your turnover. 5. It is also worth noting that some costs are recurring, such as salaries, and some are, however, will be one-off, such as a major product recall for a design fault, which is not expected to occur every year. The final disadvantage of the cost quality system is that many of the important elements of these systems are unknown or unknowable. By focusing on easily quantifiable cost, we may distract ourselves from more significant but more difficult to quantify issues. The second tangible benefits for the quality management approach is reducing waste. And here we will be talking about 7 types of waste. And as I said before, this is an important area to concentrate on. And I'll be talking in details now about these types of waste. Number 1, weighting. A typical example of this form of waste is found when dealing with components or paperwork in batches. The first time in a batch or the first item in a batch has to wait for the remainder of the batch to complete and operation before the whole batch can move on to successive operations. This has a significant effect on increasing lead time. Number 2, correction. This is the waste resulting from a failure to achieve a right first time way of working. Having to rework or scrap components or paperwork adds a traditional processing cost, as well as introducing delays that affect lead time. Number 3, overproduction. This is where more than is required is produced. It fails to appreciate the extra cost involved in working capital, storage space, and delays affecting following jobs by doing more than is required. Processing, such as an example is over-engineering. This is a good example of this type of waste where additional operations are performed that do not add any value for the customer. Conveyance, this is the movement of materials. Here differentiate between motion, which is the 7th disadvantages, or which is the 7th type of waste, and convenience. Convenience is the movement of material, while motion is the movement of employees. So in a true or false question, you have to differentiate between these types of wastes. Conveyance means movement of materials, components, or paperwork around a business in order that the various value-adding operation can be performed. I'll go directly to the 7th point and come back to the inventory. Motion, on the other hand, is where the employees are forced to undertake unnecessary movement in order to perform their tasks. This is because of ill-considered positioning of equipments and materials. So differentiate please between conveyance and motion. Conveyance is the movement of material and motion is the movement of employees because of ill-considered positioning of equipments or materials. I go back to inventory now. This not only ties up working capital, it adds storage costs and reduces the business flexibility in being able to bring in new products. Now we'll be talking about the intangible benefits. Please differentiate between the tangible and the intangible benefits in a true or false question. As I said before, the tangible benefits are reducing costs and reducing wastes. In reducing costs, we talked about the benefits and the disadvantages of cost of quality systems. And in reducing waste, we talked about 7 types of waste. The intangible benefits. Number one is increased customer satisfaction. Here we say that notice that these intangible benefits, we have many sentences that could be part of the true or false questions. The increased customer satisfaction states that fewer defects, more reliable products, reduced lead time, and the products better matched to customer requirements should all be the natural consequences of an effective quality management system. So in a short question, if we say that explain the benefits or the consequences of an effective quality management system, you will state that this will lead to fewer defects. Notice that most of them are positive outcomes, fewer defects, more reliable products, reduced lead time, and the products better matched to customer companies. As a result, satisfied customers are more likely to buy from the organization again and pay more for the products they buy and to recommend the organizations or the organization to others. The second tangible or intangible benefits for quality management is increased workforce satisfaction and motivation. Deming here in 1990 suggested that all people want is the chance to do a good job and to know when they have done it. And here we can say that the ability to take pride in the work you do is increasingly seen as a motivating factor for workers, and clearly quality improvement efforts contribute to this. Here we can say that this will result in a happier workforce. Additional benefits from a happier workforce will include better teamwork, lower absence rates, and more flexibility in difficult times. So, in a short question, if I asked you what are the consequences of increased or what are the consequences of an effective quality management system, you will say fewer defects, more reliable products, reduced lead time, and the products better matched to customer requirements. And when you were asked to state what are the benefits from a happier workforce, you will say that this will result in a better teamwork, lower absence rate, and more flexibility in difficult times. The third intangible benefits for quality management is improved environmental impact. Reducing waste. When we talk about environmental impact, we will be talking mainly about waste. Reducing waste generate a positive corporate image in addition to cost avoidance associated with lower material and energy usage and a reduced burden in respect of costs of environmental impact. Thank you.